Can you guys see me and hear me? All right. Thank you for showing up for another Sunday supporter live stream. And we got 11 people watching. It went down 5 as soon as I went live. Now we're down to 8. I love how this happens. There's some crazy shit going on. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay, let's see. Somebody asked me what the subject was. I got a few things to cover, but I'm in no hurry. You know, we've all watched the news and they're lying to us, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. Just a little jab. All right, let's see. I got somebody wanted to hear some Sears School stories. Okay. Sears School. All right. So, when I went to the Q course and finished it, while I was in the Q course, because typically the way it worked back in the day, you do the Q course first, get your credentials, then you go to Sears School, and then language school. I tested it out of language school because back then you just needed a 0+, which I did in Spanish. And when it was time for me to go to the Sears School down at Fort Bragg, there was a big problem going on because they had basically a grader or instructor get ambushed and killed. He was shot like 22 times with a 1022 on a PT run in the morning from a former student. Stand by. And they were revamping the entire, how shall we say, course. Because if people are going to that course, getting out, and then thinking that they're going to just come back and start hunting the people running the school. Yeah, I mean, granted, there should be some realism, but it shouldn't be to that point. I don't recall if they found the guy or not, but I wound up going to the Sears School they run in Spokane, Washington. It's run by the Air Force. It was a completely different animal to the Sears School that they were running down at Fort Benning, and hang on a minute. Something came on here, and I have no idea what's going on. Okay, hang on. Alright, I don't know why that keeps coming on. I have it paused for later on, so I apologize. Hopefully it doesn't come back on. So, I mean, the Sears School I went to was a lot tamer. Yeah, you got slapped around, and you know there are a lot of the same lessons and mindfuck games they played. But from the stories I heard that was going on at the Fort Benning Sears School, it was night and fucking day. And then I went to there's an expansion pack to Sears School, and it's more of I had to go to that one. That was 2 weeks long. Again, it was years later when I went to that one in Spokane. And, they basically, you're a political prisoner, or you're in a non-friendly area and you get detained, and, they tell you how to talk your way out of it, when to and not make eye contact, and, the slapping around and shit like that. And when I went through that one, I really frustrated a lot of the graders because I'm so laid back. That on my out processing, they're like, we didn't know how to handle you, Sergeant Pop. Like, literally, we're throwing you against the wall, we're slapping you, and like, your even keel tempo was the same. It's just like, yeah. Okay, that's my story. Yeah, okay. Like the half side of my face was like red from getting slapped in the face. But the way to survive that stuff is you pick a persona and you stick to it. And that's just the way it is. And a lot of times you can slip under the radar, or it becomes not worth their trouble, and you can get out of it. Now, when I was in the Ranger Battalion, I sent 3 guys from my sniper section to go to SEER school, and they did SEER school and they did SODIC sniper interdiction course at Quantico. And one of the guys that went, I mean, I was shocked he was able to get in there because he passed the psycho eval, because I could have sworn he's fucking nuts. He was studying for the psycho eval because I think he knew he was a little on the crazy side. But he made it in there. And lo and behold, he got there and his SEER school, and he told me this nightmare about the guy they called the bearded man. Big buff guy, grabs you, muscles you around, throws you around and shit. Kicks the shit out of you. Like seriously, the Fort Benning SEER school back then, like people were getting fractured jaws, teeth get knocked out. It was very common to get a broken nose. Maybe a couple cracked ribs from like getting the shit kicked out of you, and they knock you down and kick you and shit. And I mean, it was a little over the top in my opinion. And that was in 90, and I went to the Q course in 92 is when the shooting happened, and they had to revamp it. It was just getting out of hand. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff that I did in the SEER school, like the torture and the stress positions and stuff, like literally you could see all the same stuff as what they did to the prisoners at Abu Ghraib prison before I got there in 2003. Now, you would say the people that were running like that particular cell block were what was it? A combat MP company from Maryland. I don't remember their designation. And they were, because when we got there, they were packing up to leave. And they're just regular Joes. They didn't have anyone that went to SEER school or anything like that. But somehow they knew all of the, stress positions and psychological torture techniques that are used in SEER school. And it's my opinion that they were just doing what they were told. And then when it got out of hand and, went crazy, they just got hung out to dry. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're going to be doing shit like that and you're taking pictures of it and put it on the fucking internet, fuck you. You deserve what you fucking get. I have no idea what they were thinking. Taking pictures of that shit, and it's just insane. But anyway, yeah. I mean, so what I'm trying to say here is there were individuals involved in that torture thing at Abu Ghraib that were, in my opinion, the alphabet agencies doing it. Because even when I took over as security NCOIC for the entire prison, there was a building I refused to go in or I refused to know anything about. And they took prisoners in there that were hooded. And a lot of times they were dropped off in black helicopters. They were dropped off in basically up-armored SUVs and all kinds of, basically doom buggies was what a lot of the special op teams were using. And, regular army doesn't have that shit. So things were going down. And they had, like, every 3 to 5 days, they would get, like, a huge truckload of ice that went to that facility. And what they were doing in there, I don't know. Rumor has it that they have a technique that they put you in there and they hover you right above Needless to say, not a pleasant time. Wasn't really proud of that, but it is what it is. But one of the individuals that I sent to SEER school came back, and that motherfucker did. Why they didn't throw him out, I have no idea. But there's one portion where they lock you in this little fucking cage. And there's not enough room to stand up, and you can't really sit down. You just got to sit in this crouching stress position for as long as they keep you in there. So he decides, fuck these guys. And it takes him like an hour to turn around inside this little fucking constrained box. He drops trow, and he takes a dump right through the bars onto the fucking concrete. They come out, and they pull him out and make him roll around in it, and then hose him down in the fucking freezing cold water. Plus, he did some other shit. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of humiliation and stuff like that takes place. Now, does that need to happen? I'm going to go with yes to a certain degree. Now, should they be kicking the shit out of you where they're knocking out teeth and fracturing your fucking face bones and breaking ribs and shit? No. I'm not a fan of that. Now, I'm not glad that somebody snapped and decided to go nuts on those guys. But it is what it is. And it's not the first time that's happened. Okay, like another guy that I sent down to the SEER course, he came back, he served as a sniper, and he left for selection before I did. And when I went, he'd already been through selection, and he was starting the queue. He was 6 months ahead of me because I got delayed for a little while. So I run into him afterwards, and he had a big blowout because he'd run into one of the guys that worked in the SEER school that he went to, and they all tried to be nicey nice. He was having none of it. He got charged with assault and battery. He got a field grade Article 15. He got reduced 1 rank. He lost 2 months' pay for fighting this guy, and they still kept him in the service. The special forces kept him, and fucking he got promoted back a year later. I think he retired to sergeant major. But when I talked to him about it, he was just like, "Listen, man, I was in that fucking SEER course. You're completely at their fucking mercy, and they were just fucking sadists." And then I run into that guy, and he wants to be all nicey, and he just started talking, and I just started punching. And, he hurt the guy really bad, knocked out a couple teeth, fractured an orbital on his eye, concussion. Guy was in the hospital for 3 fucking days. And, he was in a shit pile of trouble. But, back then, the Special Forces community was hurting for, hard pipe-hitting guys from the regiment. And when they listened to his story, they rightfully so they stepped on his neck, fucked him up a little bit, but they didn't kick him out of the Army, and they didn't ruin his career. That SEER instructor got out of the hospital and went about his way. And I think a lot of SEER instructors keep that on the down low because they don't really know what's going to happen if they run into people that they, were torturing. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I would have handled that well. I really don't. I think if I would have been just sadistically tortured by some of those fucks, I would make their life a living fucking hell for as long as I was sucking air. That's my opinion, of course. Anyway, God, I went on for a good 10 fucking minutes on that one. Okay, Jason Walker wants me to talk about war in Ukraine. All right, there is a lot of sable rattling going on. I'm getting reports on the ground from individuals that are there that it doesn't really seem to be anything more than business as usual. There's a lot of movement taking place along the border. of Ukraine. A couple of pontoon bridges got set up, and there's been some minor airspace incursions from Russia into the Ukraine. So, in my opinion, it's 60-40. 60% chance it's not going to blow up into something really crazy. 40% chance it will. Okay. I can't really get any more solid intel than that. You can go on YouTube. There's a couple guys looking at satellite photos and showing where the movements of military units have been going and where the depot yards have been set up. And I believe a lot of these individuals are former intel analysts because that's what they do. I was trained to do the same thing, and I've done it on occasion. All right, so I really don't have a solid answer for what is going to take place in the Ukraine. Okay, let's see. All right, Eric Hobbs, what do I recommend for training for firefights? Paintball. Get your friends together and go to paintball ranges and learn how to fire and maneuver, put down bases of fire, flank, withdraw under fire, dragging wounded people. I mean, that. And look, Antifa's doing that right now. They're training at the paintball fields and paintball warehouses, and there's some airsoft places out there too. And those motherfuckers, they're doing real world, direct action training there, and they're disguising it as team play. And in a way, it is, but you're still learning, the skill set. Of what, getting down under fire, instantly returning fire, organizing your people, putting down a base of fire to pin your opponent, and then they flank on them. They even practice like the exchanges of ammo and water, and they go through all the medical procedures as well. Which is a lot of the same stuff I did when I was training companies to go over into North Africa, Iraq, and Afghanistan between 2008 and 2018. In that time, I believe I trained a total of 7 companies for deployment. I had 2 people lightly wounded who returned to full duty after the fact. And so I would say my efforts worked. So, yeah. Hopefully you like that Sears School story. It's fucking nuts, man. Let's see what we got here. Hello, guys. Thank you. Blah, blah. KKK. Pop's porn tab for later. Come on, man. Jesus. Okay, now I gotta say this. I have had a lot of success on the Rumble platform. And I really think people are waking up and turning away from the mainstream fucking media and big tech. Because it's becoming obvious to a lot of people out there that there's nothing but censorship going on in propaganda, and we need the truth. People need to get punished. There's some crazy ass shit going on out there. Still on Aruba. Why is it I see Pop and I have an urge to do something to a Pringles can? I don't know, man. You shit in one Pringles can and no one ever lets you forget it. That's another thing is, like, when you run into, like, these sergeant majors and they're all grizzled and gray and tore up and they've been in forever. You gotta understand that if they came from a combat MOS background, they were just like everyone else when they came in at E1 to E3. I mean, they were fucked up sorry, made bad decisions, made mistakes, got fucked with, had to go through the whole, like, gambit of bullshit. And then, 20, 30 years later, I mean, they're command sergeant majors. I mean, I know lots of guys. Well, I shouldn't say lots. There's about 8 guys out there that I've run into in my career who are absolute just knucklehead idiots between the ages of 18 and 20. And then I run into them in their, like, late 30s and they're fucking doomed. I mean, they're squared the fuck away. Pop, did you do Arctic survival at Ellison Air Force Base? I did their admin work off and on between 85 and 87. Yes. We did go to Alaska and do winter survival training when I was in the 9th Infantry Division. It was, I think the deployment was 3 weeks long. And you got that it's on the ground three weeks, and then you have 3 days set aside for travel there and back. And it fucking sucked. It is beyond fucking cold. That's why, you look behind me, you see that USSR Russian winter coat made out of lambskin with a bunch of fur in it, because I hate fucking being cold. And while I was there, we got there. You get your in process. They run you through all the classes, about cold injuries and what to look out for. And then you have your little classes on building, like, snow forts and hooches and how to build fire reflecting walls and use the Akio tent and moving it around. And it's fucking nuts because we got trucked out there. We took out our Akios, which is like a long sled, and you hook it up to all the people, and they wear like a harness. You're like a fucking sled dog, and you carry it around, and you drag it around behind you. And you have, it's like a mixture of, well, it's supposed to be diesel fuel for the heater, but I always, when they give me the fuel, I would basically mix it with MoGas, so it wasn't just strict, diesel fuel, because diesel it's kind of hard to get going when it gets cold. You put a little MoGas in there and you're good to go. It burns up a little faster in those heaters that they issue you. It's basically a metal box, and it's got a little carburetor at the top and a hose that comes out, and you have a 5-gallon jerry can of fuel, and you put it upside down in a tripod so gravity feeds it, and you can keep your little tent warm all night long. And we did that. That was cool. And then after that, we did, it was platoon and squad movement. There was a lot of digging ice shelters and, shit like that. Building hooches and lean-tos and fire reflecting walls. And fucking the snow's deep. It fucking sucks. But they had to cut it short because it got so fucking cold. They literally woke us up. It was like 1 in the morning-ish. And they just said, pack up your shit and get on the road. And the vehicles pulled on the road. We loaded up all our equipment. And we literally walked back to post. And it took us a day and a half. A day and a half of walking. It was a fucking blizzard or some shit going on. Freezing fucking cold. The wind chill. I had to wear that fucking gorilla mask. My eyes were watering. My eyes were fucked up for a good 2 weeks when we came back. Because I guess they got burned from the cold or something. But they wouldn't let us stop, and they wouldn't let us turn off the vehicles because they would freeze. And they basically indexed the whole thing early. And we went back to post and fucked off for like 4 days. Then we out-processed and went back to Fort Lewis. But man, that is some punishing fucking cold. Like, we're talking like negative 45 degrees, negative 60, and that's before the wind chill. Like, this one guy was fucking around and pissed in a Coke can. He took the top off of it, pissed in it. You could see it steaming, threw it into the air, and it turned into a big yellow cloud of snow. Of course, we promptly, kicked his ass because, that blew on people, and they didn't really take kindly to that. But he wasn't like, fucking, fucked up too bad. He was just pushed down, and they rubbed some snow in his face and told him not to do it again. But yeah, that winter survival, man, I'm telling you, fuck that shit. Let's see. So we got 29 people on here. All right. Oh, I dropped to the bottom here. Hang on. It annoys me when it does this. I'm sorry. Let's see. What's up, gentlemen? Got some range time in the morning. My advice, don't buy reloads. All right. There's some reloads you can get your hands on out there. I believe it's a company called American Rifleman. And they reload a lot of 308 rounds. And they have 168, 175 grain, hollow point boat tail national match projectiles, and I've got my hands on some of those, and I fired them, and they work great, and they're not that expensive. So you can find reloads out there that work. You just gotta look. In best case scenario, you get the equipment and you reload yourself. Let's see. Hey, do we have anybody out there who's currently dealing with the craziness in Canada? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. The Daily Propaganda. Yep. I don't even know why they keep fucking doing what they're doing, because, CNN has lost 90% of their audience. I mean, it is this experiment they're trying to do is failing. They're going to double down and triple down and do some fucked up shit, and then you're going to find out exactly how fucking nutso it's going to go. Let's see, Jimmy Bones. Any chance the cops up in Canada are actually UN soldiers? I have a sneaking suspicion that's who some are. I don't know, man. Listen, I am not a fan of NATO. They are worthless motherfuckers, and they get a lion's share of their funds from us, and their hands are tied from this crazy ass bureaucracy. So, fuck them. And I hope they're not here, because guess what? If they start cracking down on people, it's not going to go well. Let's see. Not too many fat or female cops in Canada these days. Yeah, I have a problem with like the female police in my personal opinion. If you're a cop and they assign you a chick like 5'4", 5'6", 120 to 160 pounds, I'm sure she might look good, but in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion, it's nothing but a hindrance. Because 120 to 160 pound woman, unless she has a firearm, if she engages in hand-to-hand combat with men, I mean, it is not pretty. I have seen female cops half their face is caved in with just a punch. So, I don't know. That's just me, though. Ah, Mike Hascats. Pop, what kind of pogey bait did you bring to the field? Well, I would usually have a jar of crunchy Jif peanut butter. And I would take maybe, depending on how long I was going to the field, between 4 and 8 pieces of ramen. You know, I would always save from the MREs that I would eat or have when we're doing, short field problems. We're talking like Monday through Friday, because I can't eat the MREs on that kind of bait. I just can't eat MREs all the time. It just was never good for my system. So they would give us the MREs, and I would open them, and I would take out like the crackers, and maybe I'd eat the one main meal, and then do a little bit of snacking just to get by. But all of that other stuff, I saved it. Like I saved all of the coffee, the cocoa beverage powders, cheese spread, peanut butter, cookies, like all of the good stuff. And I would take that to the field as pogey bait. Sometimes I would take a bag, like a whole package of double stuffed Oreo cookies. And then I would have either like 2 or 3 of the big Hershey's chocolate bars. Because if you're in a hurry, and all that stuff is not that heavy. It's a thing of peanut butter, some ramen, and a couple giant big chocolate bars. But if you're in the field and you don't have time to sit down and go through the whole thing of heating up and eating and going eat your MRE, you just break off a hunk of the chocolate, scoop out a bunch of peanut butter, eat it. That energy is in your bloodstream and on standby in less than 20 minutes. So that was a lot of the pogey bait I took. Whew. 10 degrees Fahrenheit last night in Ottawa. Punishing. Let's see what we got here. We got 33 peoples. 33 individuals watching. 23 likes. Jimmy Bones, don't buy any 50 BMG slap reload rounds from Kentucky Ballistics. Yeah, I watched that craziness from Kentucky Ballistics where it blew up and almost killed that guy. Yeah, I've seen some 50 cal shit go nuts before. I've seen probably 350 cal weapon systems fuck themselves up. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in charge of the weapon, but I've seen the guys firing the 50, go through like 4 or 5 belts, open it up, put it in a belt, go 5 or 6 rounds, and then there's an explosion, and the barrel shoots out the front, and it's done. The whole weapon's deadlined. Everything is fucking smoked. I've seen that happen quite a few times. I've seen cook-offs, guys firing, and it's not working. They open up the feed tray, drop the ammo, and it's so fucking hot in there. It exploded, and the guy got pieces of the case in his face, didn't lose his eye, and that fucked him up pretty good. I got there like literally 90 seconds after that one happened, and jerked that guy out of the vehicle, put bandages on his fucking face, and started putting together the medevac procedures card, got on the radio, and made sure he was taken care of. Let's see, what was another one? Oh, yeah. Now, I don't know exactly what happened with this one, but we're in, what was it? NTC, summer. And there was a female gunner working the 50, doing a great job. And they're at one of the live fire lanes. And, she had a malfunction, racked it. The round fell down on the top of the Humvee and got caught in the turret ring. And they continued the mission, and like an hour and a half later, they were clearing everything, and she was cleaning it up, and like the round was sitting there, but it had got to a very high temperature in the weapon. It malfunctioned and then sat on the hood or on top of that Humvee in the noonday. It was like between noon and 2, and it was fucking hot as fuck. So that round was crazy hot. She picked it up, it detonated, and took her thumb off. So yes, I've seen some 50 cal shit go down. So I mean, that's a big round. That's a lot of gunpowder. If you were to take all of that gunpowder and stick it into a PCV pipe, you'd probably getting something close to a half a stick of dynamite when it detonates. That's the kind of force those things have. See, I want to see Riggs Jr. I want to repay you. So if you won't accept, would you be okay with me paying it forward and making sure? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Yep, CNN has become a cult, and so is the left. They do not. They say they follow the science, logic, and reason. They don't. Everything they do is rooted in emotional response. Emotions change at the drop of a hat, and when you make decisions, long-term decisions based on emotion and not fact, logic, and reason, you're almost always going to get a bad outcome. Yeah, if they do deploy the UN to the US, it will not be received well at all. Yeah, I watched Beyonce, what's it? Ben Dicey Chessex. I've been watching a lot of the footage from Canada, and the rumor has it the old woman that got trampled by the horses died. Okay, now I don't recall any kind of reaction like this being done to BLM or Antifa. So we need to start asking some questions. And I'm going to be honest, if Canada keeps getting, dropping the hammer on their population, it's just a matter of time before it turns into a two-way rifle range. It'll probably start off with some bombings, some sabotage, and then it's going to be on. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we can pull back from this, but my stomach is telling me that we're in for a hard time. Let's see. Odd Walks is a good streaming channel. Been following him the past several days. All right. I never heard of him. Risky Krisky. Sorry you're having a rough week, bro. Let's see. G-Ski took Krav in my late 30s and not in top shape. I outperformed 20-something's athletic woman who did Krav Maga longer than me. Okay. Krav Maga. Does it work? Yes. Is it a primary martial art you should fall back on? No. In my opinion, if you want to learn how to stand up fight, learn Muay Thai kickboxing, take a little bit of boxing, and learn to wrestle. Okay, if you can do those 3 things, you are ready to handle your business. Okay, now the only thing I've studied with a couple Krav Maga guys, and they're okay. You know, you can learn a lot of the surgical strikes and the pressure points and stuff they do in 2 weeks, and you can just, you know, take it, meld it into the martial arts you've already learned, and you should be fine. The biggest thing about any martial art, if you want it to work, is you need to spar. All right? And I'm not talking about, you know, point fighting where you kick a guy in the chest and somebody waves a flag, and after you do that 3 times you win. No, no. I'm talking about putting on the gloves, put on the headgear and the footgear, getting into an 18 or 20-foot ring and fighting other human beings who are trying to knock you the fuck out. Because when you can do that and you can excel, you're going to walk through people. It literally, when you get good at that, you fight untrained people, it's like fighting babies. It is insane. Eric Hobbs, you're welcome for about the cold brew, bud. That shit is so good. I know they have to filter it, like, or something, because I don't know how they get it so smooth. Because most of the time you make whiskey or bourbon, and it's gonna have a bite to it. But that cold brew, I don't know what they're doing to it. I would like to be their sponsor because I drink that shit all the time. There we go. Let's see what we got here. We got 34 people watching. That's good. 30 likes. Okay. All right. What was my favorite food at the mess hall? Chili mac. Yep. The hamburger yakisoba was good, but I liked I liked the chili mac, and now in the Ninth ID they didn't have eggs made to order that often. You got it once in a while. But when I went to the regiment, every morning you went in there, you can get an omelet, and I became quite the fan of the ham and cheese omelet. Yep, there's people are mobilizing. Yeah, Trudeau really showed his hand with, like, going after people's freezing bank accounts and all that other crap. That's dictator shit right there, and that's not gonna fly. Just because they're like, listen, the truckers are peacefully protesting. I don't see any cities burning down. People aren't being attacked. They're cleaning up after themselves. I mean, what the fuck? There is a huge imbalance between how they treat the people on the left and how they're treating the people on the right who just want to live in a free society. Keep that in the back of your minds, gentlemen. Pop, please, Pop, remove the hex on me. This is the third exclusive stream. Spackling the porcelain. Oh Lord, bro. If you have a hard time with diarrhea and you don't know what's going on, get yourself some of that soluble fiber. Drink 2 glasses of it a day. All right. You can get the psyllium husk stuff, which I use, which is better. Tastes shitty, but throw a little juice in there, fine. You get your you do it twice a day, and you will see your stool fucking, toughen up, and it's a lot easier on your system. I just had to go through that myself as well. Yes, they did drown those omelets in cooking oil, but the chow hall in the regiment used olive oil, which was pretty good. Oh, G-Ski, 3 weeks, no drinking, lost 15 pounds. Wow. That must be cool. Okay, let's see. Old dirty leg. Can I recommend any sources for buying maintenance prescription meds in bulk quantities? You're going to have to do that overseas. There's a lot of places you could find that are located in India, and you can order whatever you want from them. They'll send it directly to you. My advice is if it's like hydrocodone or codeine or like the stuff people use to get high, and you order a lot of it, you're gonna get rolled up. But if you're buying like legitimate pharmaceuticals like blood pressure pills, diabetic medicine, shit like that, they they really look the other way. They just don't have enough people to focus on you. Okay, and I mean that's where I get a lot of my stuff that I use from my first aid kit. And you can get the antibiotics. You can buy them from, you know, they make antibiotics for fish tanks and koi ponds and what have you. And as long as they're in the tablet form or in capsule form, it's the same antibiotic. Literally, it's the same pills for like tetracycline is a yellow and orange capsule, and it's the same when you open a bottle for the humans and you open the same bottle for for your fish tank. I've already done the comparison, so that's a way to get your hands on that kind of stuff. Let's see, URM. Oh, I also ordered the dog tag machine and 500 blanks. So I'm going to try to get those dog tags out to people who have come forward and said I kept them from blowing the back of their heads out. Boris Epstein, how long was that 50 round outside the weapon? About an hour and a half. An hour and a half. And it just sat there in the sun. It was way hot that day. And I believe it was already sensitized because the primer went off but didn't, detonate the actual round. And it just made everything sensitive. And as soon as she picked it up, it blew her thumb off and part of her hand. They fixed her up though. I heard they took one of her toes and sewed it where the thumb went. And I don't know if that person's still in the military. Probably not. Yeah. Oh yeah. You can pick up the prescriptions and blood pressure and thyroid, and stock up. It can be done. You can also try, just do a search on Brave browser for no prescription pharmacy and just go down the list. You can find them that way as well. It just takes longer. You got to do the legwork, and they change all the time, so I can't really give you a domain, because there's people taking them down and stuff. Yeah, because I take blood pressure medicine as well. It happens. It runs in my family. Okay, the lady in Canada is alive. It just dislocated her shoulder. Gotcha. Here's another thing that the cops don't seem to understand. When they want to use horses and do stupid shit, uh, people don't take kindly to that, and horses are fucking big targets, and they can't ride them all day long. They go back somewhere to a paddock or a farm, and they're just easily picked off. And that could be a reality. People start taking away the tools of the police. That's a common tactic. Saw a pic of an old lady. Seriously, she's alive. Indigenous woman. Yep. Okay, I'm glad that woman's alive too. Okay, yeah, they do have guns in Canada. Well, a lot of them are bolt action. They don't really have a lot of stuff that's on par with military equipment. But if you have a bolt action rifle that'll do 1 minute of angle, and you put a decent scope on it, you are a dangerous individual, because you can easily drop rounds in, hit frisbee size targets. 600 meters with a 308, 500 meters with the 223, 30-06 performs a little better than the 308. You can probably do that out to 700-800 meters. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna see some French Revolution style shit happening, especially if our governments keep doing what they're doing. Uh, that's just the way. That's just the nature of the beast, man. Let's see. Sorry, the comments went to the bottom again. Let's see. I practice Ruger, Springfield, Smith and Wesson. Gotcha. Yeah, Iron Pete the Great. Sparring equals delivering the hurt to others. Well, if you're doing like, okay, I competed as a club fighter, pro-am, professional, amateur, for about 10 years, from like 22 to 32. And every time, if I needed sparring and I went down to the Kronk in Detroit, as soon as I would walk in there, it was kill the white guy. And those guys they didn't care about teaching you anything. They didn't give a fuck. They just want to hurt you. So when I went down there to spar and I could hold my own, I knew I was ready, because a lot of those guys down there were professional fighters. Literally, they were boxing and professional boxers. There was a little bit of a problem I had there when I went to the Galaxy gym. That was James Lights Out Tony's gym. They had they gave me a lot of bullshit because I was a kickboxer. Called me a bitch fighter until I sparred a couple of his guys, and then they quit fucking with me. That's right. If you are compromised physically, where you can't fight, carry a weapon, train to use it, and don't hesitate if you need to. Yeah, BLM and Antifa were financed by Soros and other leftist entities that want to destroy the Constitution and enslave everyone. That's correct. That's another thing. If I wind up running the show, I'm going to go down the list of all the companies that were donating to BLM and Antifa, and I'm going to shut their fucking doors. Fuck them. And if it turns out to be really bad and there's a lot of people get killed, hurt, and there's a lot of damage, those corporations, everyone on the boards, are going to get tried for sedition. Let's see what we got here. Omelets. Let's see. Also, yep, BLM was also financed by Amazon. In my opinion, they need to get broken up as well. We have way too many giant corporations that need to get shattered because they're getting way too much pull and power. That is not cool. Let's see. Amazon pulled out from BLM after the millions in donations just happened to disappear. Yeah. Listen, I've done a lot of videos on the whole BLM thing. I understand the frustration. There's I mean, that qualified immunity thing that needs to be repealed or severely restrained. And that needs to apply for the police, the prosecutors, the judges, and the lawmakers. Okay, you cannot make these blatantly unconstitutional laws, fucking people's lives up, having them spend millions of dollars to undo it, and then go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm immune. Fuck you. If you're doing shit like that, you know it's fucking wrong. You need to get fucking punished. Okay, now they're focusing all their anger, in my opinion, at the wrong layer of the cake. But, you know, hey, what do I know? I'm just a grunt. Yep, you're not the first one to tell me the story about, you know, being somewhere at a certain time on a regular basis, and then one day something happens and you're not there, and there's an IED, roadside bomb, sniper attack, or mortar rounds or rockets. I've heard that dozens of times. Usually when that happens, it's not your time, and the forces of the universe basically took it upon themselves to make sure you were somewhere else. I order from Amazon without quite so much guilt. Maybe. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. You got a lower GI problem if you're, you know, having sporadic squirts. I don't like it when my ass is a water cannon either, because it'll fuck you up if it goes on long enough. Let's see. McNiggers wizard predictions are... Trigger McNiggers wizard predictions are coming true, including BLM getting taken down via the feds quietly. No, it doesn't need to be quiet. Listen, if we are going to get back to any semblance of normalcy, we have to have our law enforcement agencies being fair across the board. And right now, they're blatantly favoring the left. Blatantly. Yep. Listen, that's another thing that's going to happen. Is you're going to have a lot of these truck drivers that are just going to refuse to deliver to major cities, especially the blue cities and blue states, because of all of the crime and shit. They just don't need that. Let's see. I have 38 people watching. Cool. Most of you guys are wrenches. I like it. Yep. Get out of the city, buy land, homestead, self-sufficiency. Yep. You can't lock up Chase Bank. You'd be surprised what you could fucking do to some of these bigger banks. Okay? All of them have to have licenses, bonds, and insurance. And in my opinion, we have to have some laws on the books that if you are an American bank and you engage, your primary purpose is to make money, you know, with savings, investments, loans, interest, fees, whatever. You're in America dealing with American citizens using American currency. You can't just not do business with American citizens unless they have truly been convicted of a crime. Then maybe there's a ground for that. But other than that, I'm sorry. If you're a bank and you've been kicking people to the curb and suspending accounts for no particular reason, you need to be fined into the Stone Age, treated as a foreign entity, and their licenses to do business in the United States revoked. Listen, other banks will pop up that will not do that. That's just the way it works. That's how capitalism is. In the beginning, it sucks, but somebody steps up and takes over, and they do it the right way. And you know, I'm not a fan of Chase anyway. I worked for them for a couple years as a mortgage guy. And after 9/11, they pretty much fired me because they thought I was going to get mobilized and deployed. Let's see, G-Ski, if you need painkillers, milk, lettuce, sap, milk, lettuce, sap is said to be almost effective as morphine. You're talking about wild lettuce. It's called wild lettuce. Yes, and there's a molecule in that's very similar to morphine, and it does connect to the morphine receptors and does deaden pain. Not as much as morphine, but it will take the edge off of some stuff. Absolutely correct. Sometimes you gotta dance to the devil. Let's see. Let's say, Pop, were wives of officers just as shitty as wives of enlisted? Yes. Fuck. Yes. Holy shit. I would say they're even worse. Because some of these women, they walk around the unit and they like think because their husband is the commander, they can like start, ordering you around to do shit. I didn't play those silly games. But I've seen like colonels' wives and battalion commanders' wives, just absolute shitty people. Absolute shitty. Okay, I'm sorry, it went to the bottom again, so I have to find where I was. My apologies. Let's see. Yeah, and I've heard some rumors that they purchased guillotines and shit that Canada has. Winston Reactor, send me an email, and I'll add that guy to the list. He'll be number 420. I mean, just think about that. I was thinking about this the other day because, I got a kerfuffle on Facebook and had a bunch of guys attack me saying, "Oh, you're not fucking funny, blah, blah, blah." And granted, I'm not like a stand-up comedian. I can't get stage time to get up to speed doing it because I'm a conservative and I'm not getting poke and smoke. They can fuck off. And, there's a lot of big comedians out there that make a lot of money. Like, hundreds of millions of dollars. That's cool. I mean, if you're going to, judge me against what they do, that's cool. But how many of them can boast saving the lives of 419 fucking people? Not many, I bet. Yeah, I'm sure they're really good at going to a nightclub where people have had a couple drinks. They say what they say. People laugh. And at the end of the day, the people just go about their business. Cool. Cool. But I'm literally doing comedy about subjects that are killing men. And have been killing men for over 50 fucking years. Nobody's saying shit about it. Nobody's doing anything. And and then if you're men and you try to get together to talk about all these problems, the feminists show up and shut you down by threatening to call the police and call in bomb threats and pull fire alarms and what have you. Fuck them. I'm just saying. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right, so yeah, the SKS, the surplus SKS It has a 10-round fixed magazine. It uses the same ammunition as an AK-47. I like the SKS platform. And you can actually monkey rig the weapon to take AK-47 mags, and it'll be almost as reliable as an AK, but it can still get a little persnickety. Sadly, you probably get more time for killing police dogs or horses than killing an old lady. Yeah, you are correct, except, they got to catch you. There's ways to do things that don't require firearms, and those become even harder to prove. All right, it's 9:04. Give me 3 or 4 minutes. I got to hit the pisser. Everyone go get a beer. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, but try to stay hydrated. Shit happens. Let's see, Winston Rector. I know I've told you before that you've definitely saved me from certain doom because of your videos. Finally got my dad watching you now. Yep. Listen, there's a lot of fucking dudes out there that are just flying blind. And nobody's talking about this shit. I find it absolutely reprehensible. Like, you'll watch an NFL game, and they're all wearing these fucking pink ribbons or pink helmets or whatever for breast cancer. When the fuck have you ever seen them do fundraisers or support charities for prostate cancer? Because most of those fuckers are going to deal with that if they live long enough. That's just the way it is. That's just biology of men and the way that shit works. I've never seen that. And you can open the newspaper in any major city, flip through it. There will be some kind of fundraiser or some shit about breast cancer or whatever for women. Nothing for men. It is disgusting. Could Terrence Pop be the emperor of mankind? No, I'm not that good, man. I don't want to be in charge, because power corrupts and total power corrupts absolutely. I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to not get corrupted, so I don't know. I don't think I would like to do that. Yeah, we're all worried about massive drone attacks, but just remember, what one side will have, the other one will too. It goes both ways. Okay, Callipy. Any way we can ensure an honest election? Yes! Every patriot group and militia in the United States needs to be on standby by the questionable areas where the funny business goes on during the elections. Okay, because I can almost guarantee you this. If there were 500 men within a quarter of a mile of Cobo Hall in Detroit, armed, ready to move in there and, basically take pictures and get evidence, they would hesitate before they would do the shit they're doing. It is fucking insane. That's just my opinion. Okay? But that's pretty much the only way you're going to make it happen. Just look up the historical example called the Battle of Athens. Okay, it's been done before. This is nothing new. It's a historic example. Let's see, we got no one to fight if drone swarms with small charges meant to kill individuals are released. Yeah, listen, just like anything else, yeah, they're scary. I got you. But we're human beings, and we figure how to counter shit all the time. Make up, we have come up with tactics and training and procedures to counter their whatever they have. It will that's just the way it is. Historically, that has always been the case. So yes, worry about new weapons, but figure out how to deal with them. It can be done. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. We got. Yeah, Dynaside 13. I'm reading your comments, bro. I'm reading your comments. I can see them. Yeah, you are correct. There's a lot of defortification that's happening since 2020. I told everyone this was going to happen because they got caught red-handed messing with the ice cream social in front of God and everyone. And most of the people are like, fuck this. This is bullshit. And they're trying to bring back the illusion that they're making it, fair and what have you. If you want to make it fair, you're going to have, stuff take place similar to the Battle of Athens. We have people who are not involved show up and say, hey, what the fuck is going on? And looking at the evidence. Yeah, let's see, Dick Almighty. Drug dogs and civil fortune need to end too. 67 to 90% of the cash in your wallet is contaminated currency. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I know lots of guys have no problem rolling up $100 and snorting cocaine off of a hooker's ass or tits. I've seen it done. I myself never mess with that shit. It is what it is. And the money supply is contaminated because a lot of people use drugs. Now, that civil asset forfeiture is straight up piracy. Straight up under the guise of law. And it happens to a lot of people. You can legally carry around cash. But if the cops find out you have cash, they pull you over, they take it, and you have to sue them to get it back. Now, either we need to stop the asset forfeiture, or when people do sue for their money back, they get the money back, the legal fees, and then they get punitive damages from the officer and the police fucking department. Because that shit will come to a screeching fucking halt. Now, if they stop you and you have $250,000 in cash and they find a kilo of cocaine, fuck you. That is fucking crazy. But a lot of these people have no criminal record, are never charged with a fucking crime, but yet they keep their fucking property. Bullshit. In my opinion. Crusader Nate, BLM and Antifa were just useful idiots. Yes, and I did many videos on this. If you look at how, when the Russians, the communists in Russia came to power, they had a wave of useful idiots that helped them get into power, and then once they did, they were fucking wiped out. Wiped out! Starved or killed. Let's see. Hang on a minute. My comments went all fucking kerfuffled again. And here's another thing. When I made that comment about the police forces and their equipment, listen, they don't seem to understand how how vulnerable they are. All right, yeah, they're cops and they have the support of the right now. If they lose the support of the right by cracking down on everyone, they're fucked. They're fucked. It's not that hard to destroy equipment and take out whatever they're using. No problem. In fact, you know, if you read my novels, I talk about some of this. And in the third novel coming up, uh, there's a little mention of how this is done. And in the fourth novel, there definitely will be that situation. You just read behind the lines and you can figure it out for yourself. Yeah, let's see. Caliban. Also, horses are some of the most fragile animals once things start going wrong for them. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see anyone hurt animals. I got you. But if the cops are using these horses to trample people and do fucked up shit, you got to handle your business, in my opinion. I don't want that to happen, but historically, that's how things have been done. Where's the fat Punisher? I've lost a lot of weight, man. Like right now, I fluctuate between 200 and 208. You know, when I retired in 2018, I was 227. That was unfucking acceptable. Oh, somebody ran a 10K for prostate cancer several years ago. Excellent. I've never seen that. Yeah, Mike Hascat. Pop, did you ever work with Air Force Pararescue? Yes, I've worked with Pararescue. I did security operations for them as they were going in to get a down pilot. They fucking know their shit, and they have a lot more resources at their fingertips than I've ever seen. So yeah, they're some bad motherfuckers. Let's see. Iron Pete, yeah, a 250-pound muscular running back wearing pink shoes. My opinion of the 419 number. I hate to say it, but you can save someone one day. That doesn't mean it might be happening in the future. Depression sucks. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Okay? What I'm doing is I'm trying to teach people to use their sense of fucking humor as armor and a weapon. Okay? Against the intangible. I mean, you cannot believe how many times I've seen guys, you know, fucking hurt really fucking bad. And we start joking. And then you can see it in their face. It's not as bad as they thought it was going to be. Or we're like up against incredible odds. Fucking, it is dangerous as fuck. You know, everyone is like right on the verge of shitting their pants. And you have that one guy fucking look back and go, and say some fucked up shit that everyone laughs. And it's not quite as scary. That's what I'm trying to do here. Yep. Showing up randomly at polls and counting centers would definitely go a long way. Yep. Battle of Athens needs to happen countrywide. Yep. You're right. There's no hope for conservatives in New York City. That's why, in my opinion, all the businesses need to move out of New York City and let it fucking rot. Period. Don't even do business there. It smells like fucking sour milk and piss anyway. Who the fuck wants to live there? Like a one-bedroom fucking studio is, between $3,000 and $5,000 a month. Fuck that. It's not worth it. Yeah, well, we do need to set up a network for dudes, man. Throughout history, free men wrought basically any tool, yet it was almost always governments who first took advantage of them until the marked acted as a force equalizer. Yep. Listen, man, don't let them. This. Okay, how am I going to phrase this? All right. Maybe I'm different, and but I have never, ever trusted the government. Ever. When I first went into the army at 17, I didn't trust the fucking government. Fuck them. And I've only seen it get worse in the 40 fucking years since then. So, no. And name me one thing the government gets involved in that made anything better. Ever. I'll wait. All right. Sorry, you got me a little... I got a little worked up on that one, man. Yeah, sooner or later, cop is going to take the room temperature challenge for acid. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Now listen, if this devolves into a two-way rifle range, and there's the police are out there and say they're enforcing shit, and they're getting heavy-handed, they're all targets. Every single one of them. Because I don't maybe it's arrogance, I don't know, but I mean, in reality, in any city they work in, for the most part, they're outnumbered between 3 and 5,000 to 1. Those are atrocious odds. We have like hundreds of millions of firearms floating around out there. When the shit hits the fan, they are fucked. Especially if they're assholes. Historically, like during the French Revolution, the police and the constables and anyone that worked for the king, whacked. It went poorly for them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you do get the Jericho File books, please give them a good review. Because right now they're doing pretty good. I'm sure I'll have some haters in there that'll give me 1 stars and say bad shit. These things happen. Oh, Riggs Jr. I followed your advice, Pop. Now I have a Visa, MasterCard, and a loan. Already had, got taxes filed, and all of it's going towards wiping out the loan at the big chunk of CC balance. Yep. Yep. And don't fall into that credit card trap again, man. It's, they loan you money because they know they're going to hit you between, 9 and 40 fucking percent. Yeah, alcohol is an amazing painkiller, and it does pack on the pounds. And it will fuck up your internal organs if you use it on a regular basis heavily. Yeah, let's see. G-Ski, vitamin D, St. John's wort, time, and stay busy, not idle, and your depression will go away. For most people, yes. Most people, depression is, a temporary thing that'll come and go. Some people live in chronic depression. Why that is, I don't know, but it does happen. Let's see. So, let's see. Sooner or later, someone is going to do funny business at the voting polls and is going to take the cement pavement temperature challenge. Yeah. Listen, people are getting sick, man. There's a lot of people out there that are supremely unhappy with what's going on. And if, like, for guys like me who are looking this through the lens of historical example, we're going right down the fucking road for civil war, man. I mean, we are literally we're checking all the boxes on our way there. It is crazy. Iron Pete, yeah, get the hell out of New York City, bro. Fuck them. Yeah, Winston Rector. Yep. Listen, if you don't have to go in the military, don't do it. Because there's a lot of fucked up shit going in there. And I'm trying to work on I'm trying to have a guest on Tuesday who's going with the whole fight against the system. Because you don't seem to understand that virtually everyone in the military is violating your constitutional rights. They're denying religious exemption thing based on virtually nothing. We have all kinds of chaplains siding with the chain of command in this. In my opinion, that is atrocious. I mean, they're not supposed to do that, but that's why I'm not really a big fan of chaplains. It's, for the most part, they can go fuck off. I've had a few good ones, but it is what it is. But yeah, they're fucking up the military. They're gonna have to start drafting people here soon, or giving huge enlistment bonuses to try to bribe people to come in. But they can't do that forever. Let's see. So Boomstick reading the Turner Diaries about two-way rifle range. Is it all about race? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. When you take away order and introduce chaos, people pack up by race. Just look at prison. That's just the way it is. Hate to say it, just using real world examples. No, I do not want to finish out the night with Starburst mugging, man. Fuck you. That's disgusting. Let's see. Nate Dogg, they were very arrogant about committing the fraud last time. Yes, they were. They were. And unfortunately, in my opinion, unless there is the two-way rifle range, a lot of those people are not going to ever see any justice. Let's see. The great even rigged elections in Peru at last were not so obvious. Yep. You are correct. Now let's see if I can let me shrink this down a little bit. Let's see if we can go in here. Okay. That's not it. No. Okay. All right. I'm going to play just the beginning of this video. And this is pretty fucking creepy. Hang on. All right. This is from Hive blog. Let's see what we got here. Okay, hang on. It's all fucked up. Ah! Sorry. Trying to get this in here. All right. Let's see. 1 million excess deaths in the U.S. since the start of the COVID pandemic. All right. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to hide the numbers. Okay. People die, and when they die, it triggers a bunch of stuff. Funerals, life insurance, execution of trusts. The list goes on. Okay, you can say, oh, no, nobody's dying, or, you know, well, all these people are dying, but then you look at they can't hide the numbers. That's just the way it is. And then here's the interesting points here. 2.8 million deaths in the U.S. in 2019, 3.3 million deaths in 2020, 1 million, you know, plus, you know, 1 million 50K were rounded up. Excess deaths in the U.S. since the start of the pandemic as of 17 February 2022. Today's the 20th of February 2022. 40% increase in deaths in age 18 to 49 age group in the U.S. for the 12-month period ending in October 2021. A majority of these deaths are not attributed to COVID-19. This time period covers a period when the COVID vaccines were rolled out in mass in the U.S. Okay, so this is some crazy ass shit right here. This guy's just posting the numbers. You can't hide from the numbers. Just not going to happen. Let's see what we got here in the next one. Okay, here we go. Hang on. I have no idea why Odyssey gets all crazy like this, but we're just going to play this for the first couple minutes. Now, I've been watching this doctor on and off YouTube for quite some time. I believe YouTube gave this guy the axe or stepped on his neck, and he went over to Odyssey. But just pay attention to this.
The risk of myocarditis after an mRNA vaccine is 133 times the background risk. That is according to a new study that we're going to go take a look at. Come on, let's go see what that is.
All right, I'm not gonna show you the whole video. Okay, you just got to hear the beginning. Okay, again, you can't hide the numbers. You can't hide the numbers. All right, hang on here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see. Again, I talked about this before. Okay. 4 weeks ago, One America Insurance Company's CEO, Scott David, revealed that they had witnessed the highest death rates in the history of this business. Not just at One America, with a jump of over 40% over what they were pre-pandemic. Interestingly, Davison noted that the majority of deaths are not classified as due to COVID-19. Okay? You can't hide the numbers. Can't hide the numbers. And that's just the way it is. All right. Hang on a minute. Stand by. All right. Let's see what we got here. This stuff right here is why I'm lit. Let's see. Boomstick fire. This stuff here is why I'm listing my ranch for sale next week to get value out before mass death is coming down the pike. Yep. They globalists are smoking us while getting us to pay for our own disposal and execution. Yep. That's one way to put it. Like, you can't hide the numbers, like I said. If they're not reporting, the numbers to you in the media, and they're playing with the database for the VIIRS data, you can find the data somewhere else. And basically, that's how Intel analysts do stuff. They take snippets of information they get from other sources and they build the big picture. Anyone can do it. You just got to calm down, clear your mind, and think rationally, and it'll come to you. All right, so Riggs Jr., Pop, can you cover ways to neutralize the negative effects for those of us who had to take the coof juice? Yes. Stand by. All right. Well, I was going to get you the bottle of the stuff I have, but it is in my car. I did not bring it in. All right. I will be doing a video on that, going through a list of supplements and herbs that you can use to assist in mitigating the negative effects of the coof juice. Okay. Mainly, like, the thing that scares me the most about the coof juice is the blood clots and the wrecking of your immune system. Like, quite literally, the vax will turn a couple pieces of your immune system and ramp it up to 100. And the rest of the systems that you need that work in the background, they're going to take it easy. They're going to be like, hey, they got it covered, man. We're good. And then something else comes along. And those two super big bodyguards that your body thinks is going to protect you, they don't have the tools anymore. Then your body has to wake up the rest of the fucking loafers to, get up to task to fight whatever this new pathogen is. And a lot of times it's too late and people fucking die. They get cancer. Like, most people don't seem to understand that when you reach the age of 40, your body is producing cancer cells. And the only reason you don't die of said cancer is because your immune system, while it's doing its thing, it bumps into a cell. Oh, shit! You've gone off the rails. It puts it down. Gets absorbed back into the body. Now, if your immune system can't see the cancer or is too weak to respond to it, and the cancer just grows, guess what? You're going to get fucking cancer. If you look at the DOD data that was testified in front of the Senate, I believe they were saying that just in the past 11 months, the cancer rates have soared 400%. You got to, for the exact numbers, you got to go look at that, and you're not going to find it on YouTube. You got to look for it on BitChute, DLive, or Rumble. But it's there. Give me a second here. It just jumped to the bottom again. All right, Rojo. I'll get your mail. I'll check the email after this. Let's see. All right, yeah, white pine tea needles. Actually, any, they have pine needle tea. There are some organic compounds in that assist in basically deactivate a lot of viruses and creates a substance that helps your body's immune system. It basically wakes up the immune system a little bit. Yep. We're going to see a huge economic collapse here in the next 2 years. I hope I'm wrong. I do. But it's not looking good. Yeah, I take NAC as well. Yeah, boomstick fire. Aw. Yeah, I got the fire pit damage to my lungs as well. So I'm always hacking up shit. It's very unpleasant. Yep, Vades. Now, this is some scary shit right here. Yep. And that's basically the antibody enhancement syndrome. Or maybe I'm saying it wrong. But basically, the poke and smoke is putting your immune system to sleep. And I don't know if it comes back or not. I hope it does. I'm actually doing a lot of research here on the after effects of the poke and smoke. But here's the problem here, Riggs Jr. If you have to get a booster every fucking 6 months, every time you get a booster, you're re-rolling the dice. And sooner or later, you're going to roll snake eyes and you're fucked. Let's see. Most of the patch and things applied already. Yeah, the clot shot is bringing on acquired immune deficiency syndrome. That is basically the antibody enhancement syndrome. And it's putting your immune system to fucking sleep. And you can see this effect when you look at the studies that were done on animals prior to this craziness. That they would vax these animals against a pathogen, and they would basically expose them to the pathogen. Their bodies would be okay, and the pathogen wouldn't kill them. But, 6 months to a year later, all of the test animals were dead from various other forms of pathogens that they could not fight off. Yep, there's a lot of people who have beat the big C who are getting the clot shot and then are having a resurgence in those cancers. That is happening. The best way to fight cancer is, yes, don't eat fucking sugar and carbs. Fourfold whole shit. Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, I've had, let's see, I have a friend of mine who was on my LURS team, had bone cancer, and he beat that basically, with some holistic medicine and a lot of starvation. He starved it out. And then I had a friend of mine whose wife had liver cancer. She did the same thing. I think she did one round of chemo, and within 90 days, because of the starving and the herbal stuff she was taking, that was it. Yeah, I've heard about the bitter apricot kernels as a anti-cancer supplement. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've read about it. I'm not a doctor. Uh, maybe it works. I have to look more into it. Okay, HIV has a spike protein as well. J&J shut down a coof juice manufacturing facility in the Netherlands, and guess where that super HIV strain was first found? Hint, hint, the Netherlands. Yep. Yeah, I do the fasting from time to time as well. I will usually fast between 2 to 3 days a month, and that's usually in a row. And then I do the 1 meal a day thing, and it seems to be working for me. My A1Cs come down, very well. I don't have to take as much blood pressure meds. Okay, let's see. Ta-da. Yeah, I used to have a huge sweet tooth. I still do, but what are you gonna do? Like literally, I would drink a 2 liter of Coke and eat 2 pizzas a day. I didn't give a fuck. You can't do that anymore. Once your extended warranty wears out at 40, you can't eat like that anymore. You're gonna fuck yourself up. Let's see what we got here. We still have 33 people on the line. That's awesome. 40 likes. I like it. Yeah, they're actually doing a lot of studies on these spike proteins. I'm going to be honest. You're getting an injection of the poke and smoke, which is hijacking systems within your own body to produce an insane amount of these spike proteins. They don't know how long they stay in your system, and they don't know how long your body will continue to produce said spike proteins. And they don't know what they do in the short run or long run in your body. So in my opinion, this whole poke and smoke shit is one fucked up thing. Yeah, I only use extra virgin olive oil. That's what I use. All right, let's see. Let's see, red clover. I never heard about red clover effective anti-cancer. I'm glad you guys are giving each other, information and advice. You're cross-talking. That's good stuff. That's why you're all here. Hey, we're up to 40. That's the first time we've ever been that high. Yeah, I know. I take... I usually have a shot every night. Half of it is olive oil. The other half is apple cider vinegar right before I go to bed. Yeah, I cut the soda out too. The only time I really have a soda is usually once or twice a week. And it's usually a Coke or a Pepsi in a glass bottle. Plastic bottles, forget it. Cans, not so much. Hmm. Let's see what we got here. Cuban, let's see. Ooh, I spent 10 years working in strip clubs. The stories I could tell. Had to get out. I knew it would kill me if it did not. Ended up in Baghdad. That's right. The high-fat diet, if you're eating fat, not carbohydrates, your body will adjust to burning the fat. Okay, so what happens is your body, you become the victim of priority. So say you eat a meal, that in that meal you drink a Coke, you have some potatoes, and you have a steak with a lot of fat on it. You eat it all. Well, your body's going to take that sugar from the Coke and flood your body with that. So you're going to get you're going to get an insulin spike and you're going to get a sugar spike. All right. And then your body's going to get around to those carbohydrates, the potatoes or whatever. And it's going to go, well, our blood sugar is already sky high, so we're going to convert that to triglycerides and store it in the fat cells. And then you eat the steak with a lot of fat. Your body takes that fat and goes, oh, this is great, but we don't need it right now. We're going to store it. And then all of that fat on that meat gets stored. If you don't have any sugar in your blood, because you don't eat that shit, and you're eating fat and you're in a slight state of ketosis, your body burns the fat, turns it into a more efficient fuel that your brain and your body runs on. And you go through that fat, relatively quickly. So there is something to be said about that. I've watched lots of people give up sugar, go on the all meat diet or do the keto diet and lose an insane amount of weight. It does work. Let's see. All right, well, we've been going now for almost 2 goddamn hours. Man, it goes fast. I really enjoy talking to you guys, dudes. It's fucking good stuff. Ooh, dirty old leg lock, 60 pounds, giving up sugar alone. Yep. I don't know, man. It's a Callipee broomstick. You're doing keto, but you don't eat meat. That's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to do that. I don't know if I could do that, man. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to be closing up shop here in a few minutes. We started like 4 minutes before 8. Oh, Gab is making a PayPal alternative. I'm going to be all over that. Women with a high... Yeah, the dick stacking height. I got you. I got you. All right. Let's see what we got here. Flapping your gums. Oh, no. Just got the email. Hey, look. The notification got sent out way late. It was supposed to be sent out a couple days ago, and it fell through the cracks, and I sent it out like 30 minutes prior to the stream. So we did pretty good. Can't really complain. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you guys later. If you guys want to contact me, you can send me an email, redonkulas12@gmail.com. I try to answer all of them if there's questions involved. I do the best I can, but I'm one dude, and I got to be in 3 places at once. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.